Hi, I'm Byron Hynes. In this video presentation, we're going to take a look at the project release cycle for OpenStack, how it works and how often they come out with new additions. So the project release cycle from OpenStack, first of all, you have to realize that the OpenStack community is a very collaborative community based on thousands of individual submitters or developers contributing codes or parts of code to the OpenStack project. And OpenStack for a very long time has used a time-based release cycle. So it's consistent and it's scheduled. It's not a catch as catch can or a random sort of thing. Earlier on, it had a 3-month cycle, but they've moved to a 6-month cycle, and they call it a coordinated release cycle with frequent development milestones. Now what this means is there's a very formal definition of how the milestones and how the development will proceed. And it begins with a 4-week planning stage. So the first month out of every 6-month cycle is dedicated to planning and creating blueprints. And those blueprints will include a schedule or an idea. Now, they're not necessarily bound and constrained to only suggest changes or new features during that planning cycle, but the term they use is that it's preferred. And one of the reasons is that they have a design conference where they kind of set priorities. After that planning cycle, they begin the process of actually creating the code or the documentation or filling out the blueprints, creating what's actually been described. And depending on the issue or feature being implemented, there can be a number of various milestones as it goes through that process. Eventually getting to the point where there are release candidates. There'll always be at least one release candidate called Release Candidate 1. Now, what you have to remember is that OpenStack is made up of a number of different projects. There's a number of different nodes, a number of different types, a number of different features. OpenStack is a stack. It is not a monolithic program or application. And so each of the individual projects may run through more than one release candidate as they're working the milestones and as bugs are prioritized and fixed. On the release date, or at release, the most recent release candidate is collected from each integrated project, and that's what's published as the OpenStack release on a regular, recurring 6-month cycle.